Station. Station से करते हैं तो पागल है छी. होटल से ऐसे नहीं. देख ये से रेडी बनता है.
Yes. Lovely. Yes. Lovely. No. Even I am very happy.
Ma'am, you did not that for communicating English.
Where do you live?
I leave directly at 8:35.
No, where do you live?
Live.
Live.
Seriously.
Where do you live?
Again, she said.
Leave नहीं करती ना. Where do you live?
In a house.
Where is it?
Another 5 minutes. Then we will start. The school was started.
Today we are testing English. I didn't go today, but
Right?
I'm after my school, I come home and then 15 minutes I have to go back there. Like near my school for my train station. That 2:30 I come back home. Actually 3 o'clock I come back home. And then 4 o'clock I have to again come to evening. Then 6 o'clock I come back. So we do not. I'm really tired and I'm already like on a
Communicating
So
English.
exactly. So that's why I did and we have also so we also and there are French tuition in Malaj. So I was at the doctor's yesterday. So
What test you have to do?
tiger in the zoo and 2 stories about tiger. So
Take the head and Where the other character?
Devansh. Vani.
Vani.
Devansh. Very hot. मैं भी वानी बोल रही हूँ.
Sorry?
आप भी वानी बोल रहे थे.
Yeah. Vani, no. I say Vani, but I'm just
I did not direct father.
Finch fan. It's a test for us.
Yeah.
Ma'am, today there was test of this.
There was question paper का test था. तो कैसा था? आपने बोर्ड पे लिखा था?
Next, 8 years, 13 questions there. 13 marks.
तू लाया?
आपकी बात है। आराम से सीखी बैठा सो।
So what is tiger is all about? If I take only the title of it.
It's about a tiger in the zoo.
And what kind of animal is it?
A wild animal.
Excuse me, I started.
Just like that.
If I have to justify
I'm page number.
Mama is honestly.
which chapter?
What is the chapter?
A tiger in the zoo.
Last time was human video.
That's not because I can't find it.
Okay, if I take only the tiger in the title, only the title if I take
I'm page number.
39. Finish. Page number 39. Again, you didn't bring a textbook. Rituraj, I'm going to throw you out of the class.
मैम सही में
और देख लेना इंडेक्स
After Nelson Mandela. After Nelson Mandela, we did Nelson Mandela now. After that. Found it?
Yes.
Okay. If I take only the title, a tiger in the zoo, what is poem all about?
And the poem is about an animal tiger when he lives in a cage like
अरे
4 cage wall.
आपको टाइटल का पूछते हो
Only the title. You can get a
ये
justification
बात
of the title. That's what I'm saying. Even if he knows that I asked you, he didn't listen to the question carefully. Even if you know, you should listen to the question very, very carefully. When I talk about a tiger in the zoo, what kind of an animal is a tiger? It's a wild animal, right? It's a carnivorous animal. Good. So, if I talk about a carnivorous animal living in a zoo, so what does it tell you? Just for our pleasure, we go and you go to any zoo. Mumbai has a zoo. Which zoo? Wait, again. Now, Mumbai has a zoo. Which zoo? Which zoo Mumbai has? अरे वो है ना what अरे वो है ना
B it was from B अरे वो स्टेशन मुंबई उधर है B से नाम है उसका zoo है ना मुंबई में
अच्छा you been to a zoo?
yes
Forget about the name. You been to a zoo?
yes
What do you do in the zoo?
you
look at animals. How do the animals look?
sad
Don't give me that from this poem. I'll do
no
that.
actually
No,
like if they're in a group they don't really seem that upset but if they're
When they sleep always.
isolated they seem
They
like
should
lethargic and lonely
Lethargic, lonely. What else?
they're not so interested in their
You've been any time in your whole life, any time or to a zoo. You've seen various animals in the cage. Imagine if I put you in a cage and people come to you, observe you. What will you feel?
scared
Scared? Good. You will feel ashamed.
you will feel ashamed
You will feel ashamed.
I'm like you are being monitored 24/7.
You're being monitored 24/7, so you're not being ashamed.
nervous
Ashamed is the wrong emotion. Sorry? Awkward?
uncomfortable
Uncomfortable. Good. What else?
and snatched of their freedom
You feel snatched of your freedom. What else?
not anxious
You feel anxious.
deprived of their national
Frustrated. Frustrated, yes. You feel
agitated
anger. Yes, agitated, anger. You are extremely furious. You feel, because if you place yourself in an animal system and you are under the microscopic, you people just come for entertainment sake to observe you. Is like you have this, if you were never in the cage, you have this whole forest to explore. So what does it tell you about humans?
that humans are selfish.
Humans are selfish.
they don't care about
They don't care about
environment
yes. Environment, animals. We're talking about, because we're talking about animals. Don't deviate from the subject. They are cruel, good. What else?
insensitive
Insensitive. What else?
they do things for their own pleasure
Greedy. Okay. What else? Devanshu. Think. We just capture animal and put them in a cage. The same animal has a
no
dangerous, no humanity, inhumane,
I'm also dangerous
dangerous, kind of.
not you
You've seen a lot of forests have been destroyed. You see a lot of animals are caged. They are taken away from their family. what they used to roam in the whole forest, the whole wild world. Remember, during coronavirus, when it was coronavirus and there was a total shutdown, you were also like an encaged animal because you were not allowed to get out of your house. You were not allowed to meet with your friends. You were not allowed to basically even touch certain things. You were encaged in that four walls. Imagine if there was no family around you. Your house would have been your cage. You had your family, so they became your support system. But imagine children who went to study, they go abroad to study or they go to the hostel to study and they couldn't leave that particular place. They couldn't leave their rooms. It becomes kind of very frightening situation, isn't it? And you are absolutely frustrated and anger and agitated. Now the same thing the poet is bringing through this one. See, this poem contrasts the tiger in the zoo with the tiger in its natural habitat. So in the natural habitat, you would observe how the tiger was as well as in how it is in the zoo. The total emotional toll it takes on the tiger, that way. The poem moves from the zoo to the jungle and back again to the zoo. And then see, it stops in vivid stripes the few steps of his cage on paths of velvet white in his white rage. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass, near the waterhole where plump deer pass. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his teeth, white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. But he's locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. Initially, the first stanza it talks about, this tiger has stripes on the black. You know that yellow and black stripes what it has, and he's just walking about in the cage on patch of velvet white. Now, patch of velvet is kind of a metaphor we are using here. Patch, you remember the tiger has those paws, right? And it is like velvet, very soft. We haven't touched velvet anytime.
Yes.
You didn't touch velvet cloth, cloth with velvet pillows.
So
You touch, no? So how it is very soft. So like that, the tiger's pad is also very very soft. And why? It also helps him in hunting. If you see Natural Geographic, or if you've been to a jungle safari also, you'll find that a tiger, very very softly, without making noise, and you know that the forest is littered with dry leaves and all that. So even if you stamp on that, you'll get a crunching sound. And that crunching sound, animals are very alert. The deer especially, because it's its prey, right? So very alert. They will run very fast. So it moves very very silently. Okay, that's why its pad is very very soft. So on pads of velvet white, so it is very quietly moves very very quietly. In his quiet rage, you hear the tigers personified. Yes, rage is anger, and he's very very angry because he's roaming in an enclosed environment where he doesn't have any kind of freedom. So in the contrast, you'll find the second paragraph talks about the jungle. He should be lurking in shadows, hiding. It literally hides in the shadows, and because of its stripes, it gets camouflaged. Okay, it's lurking in shadows, sliding through long grass. So it is sliding, it's literally like how you go on skates. You move very, very smoothly. The same way the tiger moves very smoothly. It's very majestic feature. If you see actually a tiger in the jungle, you will feel that how royal that creature is.
I went to the zoo and they got the jungle tiger, and you could see the way it walks with that grace and the
Now you see it without bars in the jungle. If you ever get a chance to go for jungle safari and you for tiger spotting, you should see the way they move, and the huge, massive creatures, very massive. But the way they move and the way they walk, and you'll find that literally that majesty, that royalness comes through. So he should be sliding through long grass near the water hole where young deer pass. So always water hole is where the animals gather to drink water, right? So it's there, it finds its prey. So it should be hiding in the shadow that going near the water hole in order to pounce on its prey. It should have that freedom, that kind of, that is its natural thing, right? And this becomes an unnatural environment. The cage becomes an unnatural. And this majesty, actually, you should go for jungle safari if you ever get a chance. I mean, I have seen a tiger. It's literally it's a majestic creature. You are absolutely stunned and you're absolutely petrified. Two things. Because when it passes next to you, or even at a distance, you feel that kind of royalty of the tiger, that kind of feeling you get. So he should have been there. Instead, it is there in the cage in absolutely fearsome rage. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge. So a tiger, to announce its presence, and it comes toward the jungle edge. Edge is where the villages are, right? It will stand near the edge and it will growl, it will snarl, and barring with white fangs are its teeth. Like barring, growling. If you've seen any time a tiger growling, his claws terrorizing the village, terrorizing the village, and yeah. So it should have been that. It should have that liberty to do that. It should have the freedom to do that. It's a natural thing for that tiger. But he's locked in a concrete cell. You get this contrast. Whenever you get it, but whenever you butt it used to be opposite, right? But he's locked in a concrete cell. Concrete cell where there is no vegetation. There is no kind of greenery around. The concrete cell, your flow is hard. If you see, the forest has mud and grass on it and leaves on it. But here you have this hard, where there is no kind of it's kind of the monotony we talk about. You know what is monotony? The same thing again and again. You get how bored you get. Like that. The same, it doesn't have the freedom, when it is satisfied, it will never attack. A tiger will never attack. When it has its full, it will never attack. Till it is threatened. Any animal. It will go lie down and it will rest. Only then. But here, it doesn't have anything to do. It just, walks around on the ground, on the floor. And the floor is hard. There's concrete wall. You can't go anywhere other than the concrete wall. It is just enclosed. This is also big. The cell what they get. They get a slightly little smaller than this. The cell. They are walking in the cell, back and forth, back and forth. They don't have anything to do. When their natural instinct is hunt for its prey. Move about free in the forest, terrorize the villagers at times to threaten them not to come into his domain. Forest is his domain. So he doesn't want him to come in the domain, but there he's just enclosed in this concrete. Yeah, and it's very inhumane. It's very, very cruel of us to do that. This animal is not supposed to be caged.
We have no rights over the animals.
Yes. Stalking the length of his cage. Stalking is walking up and down, walking up and down. Stalking also normally means stalking the animals. Going slowly, trying to predict how the animal is going to behave or walk. Going behind an animal and stalking it. But here it is stalking in the cage. It's walking back and forth, back and back. Ignoring visitors. It is not a specimen to be observed. It is not it is not something to be just looked at. He's ignoring visitors because it is for him, forest was his life. Here, humans are not part of its life, but he's made a part. He hears the last voice at night, the petroleum car, this is what he hears, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant star. So he looks at the stars, he looks at like those stars which is enormous that, and he thinks, if you think back of the freedom what it had. That's the most pathetic thing you can do to an animal by engaging it in a cell and keeping. The most pathetic.
So what about domestic animals?
Domestic animals, why are they called domestic? Because they thrive when you take care of them. But a wild animal is not supposed to be caged. The hyenas, the foxes, and all that.
And they should be like, even if they're like
Yes.
extinct, they should be kept in bioreserves and all of that. Not
Yes.
cages.
This is how, this is an animated book. It's a picture. But if you see this animal, if you see it in real life, it is really, really beautiful. Now look at the difference. Look at the expression. First, human is engaged and the tiger is very happy. Look at the other way around. The tiger is sad and the human is happy. This is what we do to the animals. See,
The poem represents the plight of the animals in the zoo. It also expresses their feelings of anger, sorrow, and helplessness. It's so inhumane and cruel to keep animals in small enclosures, depriving them of their freedom and natural habitat. The tiger in the zoo appears helpless as to be a mere showpiece and source of entertainment to people. Human progress should not be at the cost of destroying the natural habitats of untamable and proud animals like tiger.
now you remember your mother when you were young, your mother would say, "Auntie, इसको गाना poem बोल के सुनाओ." Auntie को गाना बोल के सुनाओ. Have you ever gone through that?
Or dance.
Dance करके दिखाओ. All of you must have gone through that. Come, aunties, come, sit next to her.
Auntie को
उन्हें hug करो.
Auntie को drawing दिखाओ अपनी. See, but that particular situation made you feel what? Uncomfortable. You felt like you are a showpiece. You felt that why your mother's putting you at the point. Now imagine if that one incident makes you feel so pathetic and frustrated. So imagine the tiger. Not only tiger, any kind of animal. That same feeling, magnify it or multiply it by lakh. That's how they are actually feeling. They are enclosed in that space where it is not the natural habitat, and they're suffering. But still we put because we want to earn money. Why? Because when you go to, you have to pay the ticket. You have to pay the ticket. There are elephant rides and all that. Don't do that. Elephant rides and all that. That elephant is also made to work. That is also cruelty. Because elephant again, that ground is not meant for the elephant.
and also they are not meant to go.
And yeah, they are not
No
meant.
animal is
No animal is meant to work. But we do it. So that's
Not
why we
just
are the
this,
most.
They are taming animals so fast that elephants are also recognized as tameable animals.
Yes.
Tigers. Tame tiger.
Yeah, it is. But it isn't it that you're making the tiger do something which it is not made of. That is being very unnatural. You're taming a tiger is being very unnatural. Because tiger is supposed to be a wild animal. It is not supposed to be a domestic animal. Then there wouldn't be difference between a domestic animal and a wild animal.
Summary. This poem contrasts a tiger in the zoo.
You should remember the theme because you get a question on themes. I showed you the theme just now.
This poem contrasts the tiger in the zoo with the tiger in its natural habitat. The poem moves from the zoo to the jungle and back again to the zoo. The tiger moves slowly up and down in his cage. He is full of rage but is quiet in his helplessness.
Now see the this one. He's angry also, but he's quiet also. The contradictory this words. He's angry because he's enclosed. He's quiet because he's helpless. He cannot do anything. He cannot escape from that particular cage.
The poet is moved to pity for the tiger. He says that the tiger should have been in the jungle. He should have been moving quietly in the shadows near some water hole and waiting for a plump deer to pass that way. He should have terrorized the people with his sharp teeth and claws, but sadly he is locked behind bars in a concrete cell. He does not take any notice of the visitors. At night, he hears the sound of patrolling cars and looks at the brilliant stars with his brilliant eyes. He feels angry, frustrated, and helpless.
See, these are the titles. Look at the expression, it's in the cage. And look at the size of the cage also. You look at the size of the cage.
And also, tigers are like very big.
If you compare like humans in the house to the tigers in the cage, the humans that is not actually around the tigers and drones are like the natural habitats.
Yes. Central idea. These all things come in your board.
Central
Photo.
I take. Team also take photo because that photo is required for that.
central idea. The tiger is a proud creature. It is a shame that such a powerful, agile, and uncapable animal should be caged in the zoo. In his natural and wild habitat, he doesn't need help of any kind to hunt its own. This hunting of deer at the water may seem rather cruel. He hunts not for pleasure but for food. His presence in the natural habitat is necessary to maintain the balance of food chain. Sometimes the tiger may stray into human habitation. He only displays his strength and ferociousness. He harms only when he is provoked. Even in his cage, he ignores those who come to the zoo to see him as an entertainment. Like human beings, a tiger who loves and values freedom. He shows his anger and hatred and defiance by walking in his cage. Enraged in his cage, human progress should not be at the cost of destroying the natural habitats of uncapable and proud animals like the tiger.
This, did you get into school? No. So pay attention here now. We started, it's a proud creature, it is a shame that it's powerful, it's very powerful, it's very agile. You know what is agile?
Staged.
Fast.
Same thing.
I am not teaching Hindi. Untamable animals should be caged in a zoo. In its natural and wild habitat, it doesn't need help of any kind to hunt its food. It hunts on its own. It is born, when it is born, it is a natural instinct. Remember that for him to learn to hunt, nobody teaches him. Even the mother tiger doesn't teach. It learns on its own. It develops, it's an instinct. He hunts not for pleasure but for food. And it requires why he needs to hunt because it maintains a balance. Remember, the population of deer is more than a tiger. So it has to, when it hunts deer, it controls the population of the deer. Because if the deer, the grass is there, it will, the deer eats grass, it will eat the number of things, what it will eat, it doesn't, it takes time for it to grow. So in order to maintain the ecological balance, animals are there. Each animal has a particular function. So it is maintaining that. And sometimes may stray into human habitation, he only displays his strength and ferociousness. It doesn't attack till it is not threatened, as I said. Any animal doesn't attack till it is not threatened. He harms only when he is provoked. That is what. When he is threatened, then only he harms. Even in his cage, he ignores those who come to the zoo to see him as an entertainment. A tiger is not supposed to be an entertainment for people. Like human beings, a tiger who loves and values freedom. Very, very. We love our freedom. We do not like to be in cage. As I said, COVID time was one thing where we were the first time for 2 years we were in cage. 1.5 years. Then slowly we got you all didn't have, but slowly that it started normalizing. But it was that we were engaged. We didn't have anything. The food, if you had, you all didn't understand. Means you all were lucky enough to not, your parents doing that. Food, had to be like you wanted fresh vegetables. There was certain time when you were allowed to go. 1 to certain time, like 6 to 7 maybe in the morning. That is the only time you could go and buy. I'm telling you, I have gone through this. 6 to 7 only, that's the time you get vegetables. Or it got delivered in the house, and it kept on the door. Whatever. But for us, we used to go. We were allowed at that particular time. Groceries were only the shops. Only you could send the list, and the grocery would come home. You couldn't step out of your house. It was so pathetic. Fresh vegetables, what you wanted, what was a daily thing. For me, it's like Maggi was something which like you were getting different brands, you were not getting Maggi. Pani Puri became this one because Pani Puri have to be home-eaten Pani Puri, not something where you can go to a tela and eat or anything, Bikaner and eat, whatever it is. It was something like you started craving, isn't it? Normal foods. That was one thing which I still remember because at that particular time it was like what street food used to eat became bada pa. You had to cook in the house and eat. Yeah, it would never taste like how you get outside. You would never get it.
They're not satisfied.
You never satisfied. So again also. That's all.
It was hard to order groceries from outside, so we had to like our parents can't curse us. That we used to do.
I'm telling you, I used to go. I really missed one day getting hit by that police. What is that stick? I nearly got, like you said. No, I didn't get beaten. I nearly got. I missed basically because he was like there was certain time limit and you couldn't exceed that time limit and you couldn't gather together in so many. And people in that time limit definitely would rush to pick up whatever vegetables you require, even whatever food you require, you do that. By it is chasing like banging his stick on the road and asking the people to run. And sometimes I've seen 2-3 people literally like policemen took the stick and they hammered a civilian. Why? Because he's not supposed to be out on the road. It literally became that. It literally became like that kind of situation. Like you were treated like criminals if you're on the road. And why are you on the road? To pick up some groceries. I see this.
Then we used to watch channels when they were cooking.
Yeah.
And grapes. Yes, when grapes would taste like they would taste worse after they are washed out.
Yeah.
We need to actually switch it because we couldn't eat that so full.
That is what it is. Imagine that I'm just telling you because you have experienced corona that the same thing with this particular animal. It ignored, it is showing its anger, hatred, and defiance by walking in the rage in the cage. Because it can't do anything, it just shows its anger because of what else it can do. Humans' progress should not be the cause of destroying natural habitats of uncapable and proud animals like tiger. We are we understand everything, but we are greedy for power, we are greedy for money, and we are greedy in the same case. Our population is expanding so fast that we are destroying natural habitat to build houses. And the consequences are very, very terrible. Right now, you see, our world is in a very bad state because of what we are doing to the natural habitat.
The poet thinks that the tiger should belong to the wild and that is where it should remain. This poem presents the tiger in 2 distinct settings. The first setting is that of the zoo, and it is the setting that the tiger inhabits in the reality. The second setting is that of the forest, and it is the setting that the tiger has been taken out of and no longer has access to. And also the setting that the poet would like tiger to inhabit once again.
These two settings are contrasted. The poet's motive is to show how much better the tiger is suited to the second setting than the first.
Justification of the title I had asked you.
Justification of the title. The theme is justified as Norris narrates the woeful state of the tiger. The poet focuses on the tiger which faces in its small step. The tiger's natural habitat is the jungle and its vast lands. Its natural instinct is to hunt, but the caged tiger is deprived of expressing his natural instincts and behaviors. The poet brings out how a tiger in a zoo has to suffer because of the insensitivity and selfishness of a man.
Value points. Importance of freedom. Destruction of natural habitats is great loss for all. Dangers of deforestation. Keeping animals in zoo hinders the natural instincts. Your natural instinct when you see a snake is to run away from them.
Yes.
When you see a snake
Or a mouse.
or a
Mouse. Huh? Very mouse.
instinct behavior towards animals.
This one come now.
ABCD, driving speed. Okay? Okay,
No, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
The two of them are
करेक्ट है
नहीं,
ABCD
fourth
ABCD
वाला का
मैंने
ABCD
एग्जाम दिया सुबह सही
वो
हुआ है
fourth वाला ABCD नहीं है.
कौन सा एग्जाम दिया
Fourth वाला ABCD है fourth वाला.
examines are
She's
there.
right. It's like cell, bars, cage, visitors. So the fourth one, yes, fourth time. Fourth is only ABCD. The rest is the math A, B,
Yeah. So it has two distinct settings. First setting is the zoo, second setting is the natural habitat. Now, personification tiger, as I said, E is used and not A. Metaphor, patch of velvet. I hope you know the this figures of speech. Metaphor, patch of velvet.
No, I want to call you about the oxymoron.
Opposites in the same sentence.
पहले ना आगे कर सकते
एक दो बार मेरे
Here there is no oxymoron only.
ये है
Oxymoron is not in this poem.
अरे मैम तो मत कौन सी बोलो
ये सब खा
माँ तासी के शरीर से
I wrote it oxymoron.
Opposite in the same sentence.
I wrote antonyms behind both. आपको ले हो गया रे
मैम ठीक है
कैसे देखिए
See, right scheme, personification, metaphor, tiger's paw are compared with velvet, bands of velvet, consonants, S sound, stops, hiss and stripes. Consonants, I remember I told you what is consonant and assonance. Consonants are consonant sounds. Assonance is vowel sounds. Okay? Alright, the poem draws a conclusion between A, B, C, D.
B.
Yeah, but
And second is all of the above.
No, tiger.
All of the above is
Tiger. So कहाँ से personify हुआ? अरे मोटू.
whatever has been personified in the poem.
Tiger.
So you know what is personification? Huh? When you give human emotions
All of
to.
the
Yes,
I just told you about tiger has been personified in the poem. Where did the zoo get human emotion? Or the forest got human innovation. The forest was crying. Tiger hated, not the zoo.
But the zoo was
Name the poetic device in his quiet rage.
Oxymoron.
And because the rain is supposed to be like loud, but it's quiet.
Correct. I just don't know what is oxymoron.
That's
What
What is oxymoron?
when two things are used to be the same, but that's not the same.
Ma'am, can you repeat what is oxymoron?
Quiet rage. You cannot opposite. Both are opposite words together, na? Quiet and rage. Quiet is quiet, silent.
A
Rage is anger. So both are opposites. That's why it's an oxymoron.
What about irony? Irony is when you say something but you mean something else.
Let us answer.
Okay.
Consonants.
Consonants.
Okay, yes. He talks in his vivid style.
Yes.
So what is this, boys?
What?
Fourth one.
Name the poet. Oxymoron is
One I'll give you. From where are you getting the opposites in this?
Assonance.
What is
I
guess.
You can't simple I.
Vivid.
Metaphor.
In metaphor.
Metaphor.
Vivid
Yes, I'm
styles.
What is the meaning of those four words, ma'am?
D.
Now, what is the meaning of those four words in the option?
Yes, consonants are
S and
इन
S
चारों का मतलब
and
भी पता है
S.
तेरे
So
को?
iron. Yes, from iron.
अरे नहीं पता तो कुछ
In
ही
styles. Vivid styles.
मैम नहीं कभी कुछ
Ma'am, can you explain the name?
yes ma'am, can you please tell the meanings of the options
Yes.
of the term?
Metaphor is direct comparison. The camel is the ship of the desert. We call the camel the ship of the desert. That's a metaphor. We are comparing camel with the ship.
अच्छा ship.
But that's a direct comparison. Remember a patch of velvet, as I said, his paws are compared with velvet, that are very soft.
Now what is assonance?
Assonance is when vowel sounds are repeated.
And consonance is
Consonant sounds are repeated.
what are consonants?
Consonants are used. Yeah, whatever you're out of the side.
E-I-O-U के अलावा
वो sound नहीं होता वो
B, D, F, G, H, all those are your consonants till Z.
What were you telling? I, S.
She was saying I, S, S. In different words, we have here this consonants more because it starts with the S and the S and the S.
So ma'am, the fifth one is the metaphor.
yes correct
Let's go.
Yes, correct. Because that's why I gave you the same example.
Thank you, ma'am.
Then, barring his teeth, his claws.
Now, what are poetic devices?
Very
What is poetic device?
Figures of speech is poetic devices. And every MCQ you will have those. But you'll have to wait 5 minutes. Still time.
consonants
Barring his 5 times with his claws.
okay
Claws.
yes
What? Why should he be lurking in the shadow?
No, this will be an assonance. Because A, I, A, C, 6 back, B.
consonants
Oh, sorry.
yay maybe lurking in the shadow to catch the deer to catch the deer yes ma'am because you got me finished to catch the deer
Huh?
to catch the deer
Ah, C, correct. Are you paying attention?
Yes, ma'am.
You're talking.
No, ma'am, this one is B.
ma'am ate all of the above
Right, according to the what is the poet trying to say?
ate all of the above he all of the
Tiger.
all of the
All of the.
A
अरे
A
सब आपको देंगे
नहीं सही में easy तो है
what describe tiger in a map? 10 will be locked in a way.
yes नहीं
His strength we have.
wearing his white pants
Yes,
wearing his
white
white
pants.
pants
Some DVD.
Out of sight, create terror for the villagers.
I'll be 10
Snarling.
times. The tiger creates terror for the villages by snarling around their houses as they are situated near the temple.
Next one was
Some of the
God
activities.
reminds you of very small.
Because the consonant sound is more predominant in that. You have a consonant sound, what are consonant sounds? B, D, F, G, H. So in that, your S sound was more predominant. Okay. Barring his stance, barring what is ever talking about his claws. Yeah. So you have first sound more predominant and pants first sound more predominant. That's got it. That's right. Your eyes are red from that time I'm seeing you. Managed to hurt your eyes.
No.
this left
Even
one
sleep.
hour.
So your eyes shouldn't be red if you slept only for 1 hour today.
रात में बना के afternoon.
Right? Whole night you were watching.
He was playing video games.
I'm watching.
It is not good for your eyes to be bloodshot. It is not good. Okay.
क्या करते रहते हो? वही तो देखना
This is a value-based type questions what you get. Love for freedom is a natural instinct of every living being. Comment.
Yes.
Comment. You have to explain. It doesn't come for 1 mark.
Like it was right.
Read. Read. You can't see.
I can see. I can see.
Read.
It is rightly said that love for freedom is the natural instinct.
You read everything and you only.
Instead of every living being, everyone loves freedom and does not want to live in confinement. Similarly, the tiger also longed for freedom. He was so fed up with cage that he even ignored the visitors. He took to and fro steps in the cage as if trying to wipe away the time. The tiger wanted to escape this captivity. God has made all living beings equally and thus the animals to have the right to freedom. They should not be caged. It is their right to enjoy their natural habitat, that is the forest, and run freely in the wild. We should thus respect their freedom and should not put them in the zoo.
Okay. Now when you come to value added points like this value-based thing. First, give a general statement. Then in that you will use the poem or you will use the text in order to justify your answer. Have you understood? You have to justify your answer from the text itself. But as I said, love for freedom is a natural instinct for every living being. So you have to first explain why. And then you have to use justification for the text to prove your point. Understood? This kind of questions always come. Short ones also come and long ones also come. So make sure that the framing of the answers PC. It is right to confine why animals in this cage, why or why not. Read Wangman.
Wild animals are made to live in the wild. They are not made to be caged and displayed in the zoos. We all know that the majestic species of tiger is on the verge of extinction.
Verge?
अच्छा verge of मैं थोड़ा सा zoom करूँ.
चुप रहना मेरे को.
चुप ना.
टाइप है बड़ा सा 175 ज्यादा बड़ा कर.
Now what to do?
Now you can type there.
You are all blind, I can't help it.
175.
I'm 190.
Not us.
70. हाँ. there used to be a time when they used to roam proudly and freely in the jungle. They are not meant to live in a life in confinement.
In confinement.
They also have the right to freedom like all other living beings. Confinement leads to depression and misery. Misery. Moreover, their offsprings lose the hunting capabilities as they are not trained to hunt in the wild. As a result, they would not be able to feed them. Furthermore, confining wild animals disturbs the whole ecological balance. We should thus let the animal run free in the wild. They belong to the forest and not to the cage.
Now, when we say
Confining.
offspring, what are children? Children. Correct. Now you see, if a wild animal is brought up in, like from the baby, they are brought up in a cage, or they are brought up where their people, they become very used to humans, right? But the adverse effect is, if you leave the same animal in the forest, they will not be able to survive. They will be killed instantly. That's why, you see birds, right? Birds, the babies of the birds, okay? If you touch the babies of the bird with your hand, the mother will never return. The scent of your body lingers, and animals have a very sharp scent, and it lingers on their skin, and the mother feels that this is not my child. That's why you have to. 415 you have, right?
Yes.
515. It's 515.
And like if you touch some like the bird scent, then he will destroy the.
Yeah, it will kill. It will literally kill because they feel that this is not my child and it is something alien and they kill. That's why you cannot touch a baby bird, because a baby bird, the mother will reject it immediately.
You are it. What's it?
कितना proud से बोल रहा है.
I know.
चिकन है एक बार भी
Certain things children are not very, very good, okay?
Now some points, they smash the spawn its egg with bricks and that's how the spawn became different. It's not.
No, it happens. That is also, if you take a human baby and run away, the mother, you take a mother's baby and run away, the mother becomes depressed, the whole family gets destroyed. Now imagine the same thing you're doing with an animal. That is also their child. That is cruelty only. And how proudly we say we are not on our planet.
But yeah, this is also there in the second section. Two animals are like biology
So we have those kind of things, right?
Yes. There was this answer that was only in like double digits. They were left in double digits.
If it is extinct, yes. If they are going to get extinct, it's better to put them in a reserve. Tiger reserves are there, that is there. Because that time hunting is prohibited. They are punished if they hunt those kind of animals. If that's that, but we are not keeping them in a cage, right? It's a reserve. Tiger reserves, you know, that it is where the tigers are in the forest situation only, but they are not allowed to be hunted by poachers or anything.
But now in bioreserves, they don't have other animals.
They are the animals in natural habitat only. It is not something.
But it has borders after that.
Yeah.
India also has cheetahs.
Yeah.
But they are not.
Yes.
There are no cheetahs here.
Only the few. Only the few.
India with cheetahs.
एक ऐसे राइट
What is the meaning of the poem? Listen, you get this kind of question. What is the meaning of the poem? What is the message of the poem? You get this. अरे एक फोटो lazy people you are.
मैम ये सब मिल जाएगा ये सब मिल
Is
जाएगा
there in your that?
Can you send this PDF in the UT group? WhatsApp group?
No. That is there.
Oh, that is the same thing, right?
No. But you have that material written in different way, but you
खाली का
have.
बात पड़ा है.
This is for me to teach you, not for you to.
क्लियर फोटो चाहिए को
अरे
Mood of the tiger,
मैम वेट मैम
unhappy, rather frustrated, restless and angry.
अरे यूट्यूब वाले में है
No, because you already have enough and no question answers in the UP book. This is something what we do it in school. Unfortunately, I don't know whether you do it in your school.
मैम दी
सर कोई भी एग्जाम नहीं है कल छुट्टी होगी.
Okay, this one. Freedom can't be bargained at any cost. Eventually,
Freedom can't be bargained. Not only humans but animals to cherish freedom. Freedom can't be bargained. In this case, a tiger may be well fed and protected. However, the curtailment of his freedom keeps him in quiet region. He resents being behind the bars. He is a different animal than he is in his natural habitat, the jungle. He roams around the water hole and ambushes his favorite plump deer.
you have to use words from the text. And next time, I want you one bench between you. I am telling you all one bench between you.
वो तो हम इधर भी काम कर उधर अलग
इसको बाहर निकल जाओ आउट ऑफ केस चुप ये
See, this is your answer the following in 100 and 120 words. Yeah, answer photo ले ले.
नो
मैम दिस इज देयर ना इन यूट्यूब
यूटी वॉल्यूम
Check. Check.
व्हाई इज एवरीवन स्टैंडिंग आउटसाइड
Because they are waiting, they thought that it was.
चलो फिर
Yes, sir, we can leave us early.
No, 3 minutes are left.
बाद में मुझे फोटो चाहिए
फोटो ले लो
They are from the other one, they are from that chat. What is that?
नहीं मेरा भी
मैम सेट इट
Check, did you check? Check. Check your UT volume, this doesn't have this.
मैम नॉट देयर
150 to 100 to 120 volume. Is it there?
मत ना
you have picked it up from the UT volume.
It is not 100% guaranteed.
So how do you know
it's not in the volume there are questions like this
There are questions like this in the book. I am not saying. Which volume?
वो वॉल्यूम जिस पर दिखता नहीं है और सा स्टिकर नहीं है वॉल्यूम 2
मैम नॉट देयर मैम नॉट देयर
I know it is not there, but depends
दूसरे
on the
वॉल्यूम
question.
210
अरे हम क्या कर रहे हैं बर्थडे पे लगा दे बर्थडे
See,
what is
some
your
animals
what
have
is
become.
your technical devices
क्या
Where is it?
UT volume
what devices
your technical devices.
Rhetorical
devices.
मतलब rhetorical मतलब
Rhetorical it is.
अरे वापस नहीं करनी
Rhetorical question is you don't require an answer.
No answer.
You don't require it understood. Like are you listening?
No.
That is a rhetorical question. That is a rhetorical question.
I think it's more obvious question करता है. जैसे वो obvious है.
अरे ये है.
अभी लगता है वीडियो को आगे देखो.
अच्छा मेरे को सेंड कर
आज के बाद बस आज से
ये बैक पर कैसे
Contrasting pictures of the tiger. अरे thank you ma'am.
ए चल पेन
CBSE, yeah?